Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Killjoy Jake YouTube channel for another very fun live stream. About to get into it today. We have a lot to talk about. Now, I do want to just say this before we get into anything, before we make any kind of thing happen, conversation-wise. We are still counting down to I Know What You Did Last Summer. We got 6 weeks to that bad boy, and it's exciting. But there has been so many horror movie updates that I couldn't even get to all of them this week. So there's things going on in the 28 Years Later franchise, some crazy updates there. We just learned that Cillian Murphy will not be showing up until the end of the second film in this trilogy, which is really exciting. There's been some fun Scream 7 rumors going back and forth. We might be revisiting a location from the original trilogy in this new movie, so we'll definitely be talking about that today. And I mean, so many things. Ready or Not 2 just wrapped filming. Alien Earth's first trailer came out. We've got some proper footage for it. Oh my God, I don't even know where to start. So it's crazy. Throw down whatever you guys want to talk about regarding the space of horror. We've had an update on everything this past week. I mean, even Saw 11 got an update this week. It's in the hands of Blumhouse now. How do we feel about that? Lots of things going on. Lots and lots of things going on. I just made my coffee, my second coffee of the day. So let me take a sip on this, and then I'm going to say hi to all y'all. Oh, man. Actually put a little sugar and cream in there. Wow, it doesn't taste disgusting. That's awesome. That's crazy. I usually take my coffee black, so... You know, it's Friday, though, and I'm like, I can have a little sugar. I went to the gym this morning, damn it. I can be a little crazy. Dawson is hanging out with us, Dawson's Creek, saying, when do you think Scream 7 trailer will drop? I don't imagine it comes out until like November, December. November at the earliest. Only because they're in, post-production like kind of state right now. They also want to market this movie correctly. I think that they marketed it like too far out. People might lose interest by the time we actually get to the damn thing. So I think we're going to have a really tight marketing campaign, just 3 months of scream ad, like crazy right before this one comes out in February of next year. A lot of people are saying, oh, this one's going to get pushed up, like it's going to come out this fall. I strongly doubt it. I wouldn't mind that. It would be very good for business. Trust me, this October, we don't have a ton of huge releases, in terms of fandoms, you know, so I wouldn't mind it, but I don't think it's going to happen, honestly. It just makes more sense for Scream 7 to come out next year for the 30th anniversary. AJ's hanging out with us too. Thanks for being a channel member, AJ. Saying, finally, it caught a live feed. I'm just playing some MK until then. Nice. Enjoy. Play some Mortal Kombat, dog. Are you playing the new one, MK1? I just wasn't. I wish I liked that one more. I love Mortal Kombat. I just couldn't get into that one for whatever reason. Cool stuff, though. They got Ghostface as a character, which is sick, right? So I thought that was cool. Froggy Fresh Shitpost, what's up, my friend? Saying, just got back from seeing Clown in a Cornfield, definitely lacked in horror, but I found the comedy really effective. I'm sorry. I'm like the world's biggest Clown in a Cornfield hater. I was upset that I wasted my money on that film. And I'm not, you know, if you liked it, hey, rock on, dude. Rock, so much love, so much power to y'all. It was so not for me. Like, everything about that movie missed for me personally. It's probably my least favorite that I've seen in the theaters all year, which is a shame. I thought it had a pretty strong trailer. I thought a lot of things that I was like, okay, this could be a really fun slasher, maybe a cool new villain that we could play around with. Man, I don't know. Just, I hope the book's better. That's all I gotta say. RJ Skarenki is so ready to talk some horror on a Friday afternoon. Let's get into it. Dude, there's a lot. Trust me, we'll be cracking into a lot of different topics today. Wow. Gory Tiger, yo, what's up, dude? How's it going? Welcome in. Appreciate you a ton. Erica's also here saying, hey, yo, Erica, what's up? Ella saying, what the flip is up? Jake is apparently up. I'm up drinking my coffee, talking some horror, bitching about horror movies and shit, you know, the huge. I did fucking love Dangerous Animals, though, and if you guys haven't seen my new video on it, you're missing out. I guess there is spoilers in there, though, so you got to go see the movie first, and then check out that video, but it's a good one. I'll tell you what. I'm trying. My thought process with that video is Dangerous Animals the most popular thing going on in the space of horror right now? Absolutely not, but I loved it a lot, and I really wanted to talk about it. I also thought if I name it something other than just the review of this movie, it might get more views. That's not working out, but that's okay. We live and learn. That's what life is all about. David Newbold has just come into the chat to scream, saying, ah, like that. What's up, David? I hope you're okay, my friend. Do it into a pillow next time. I hear that helps. Screaming into a pillow. You can scream as loud as you want into a pillow, and most people won't hear you. Just a thought. Something I do on the regular. Madison Kazmarski is also hanging out with us, the poop lady herself, saying, I just want to let you know that I paused Take Me to Church by Hosier to watch this. Wow. I feel so special. I feel incredibly special that you're watching this over listening to that. But but I appreciate it. And thank you for reminding me to change it to all chat. I've already taken care of that. Medits is saying, I hope Final Destination continues. We should listen. We're getting some kind of announcement sometime soon here. Come on now. $200 million at the box office. Sorry, $200 million plus dollars at the box office. And what was the other thing? Oh, and it's coming to digital on June 17th of this month. So that's exciting. That's exciting too, let me tell you. Lots of things to be excited for. But we should, Final Destination 7, the announcement is imminent. I come on now. You don't make that much money at the box office and then just decide, we're going to call it quits from there. Nah, they're working on something. Maybe they don't have an idea 100% down, but they're going to come out and be like, yeah, no, it's happening. We're 7's coming soon. Cody's talking about this, another big update from this week, which I'm probably going to cover all this in a big video next Monday. I did not have the time. I should have prioritized making a big update video today. I'm going to be real. But probably Monday because, wow, we got to talk about all this stuff. You're talking a little bit about Ma 2. Hope it's called Mama instead of Ma 2. Did they call her Mama? In that, I don't remember them calling her Mama. I remember it was just being Ma. But I don't know. I'm excited for I'm excited for Ma 2. I don't care who knows it. I fucking loved that first movie. It is dumb. It is ridiculous. It's borderline nonsensical, but it's so ridiculous that I had a very good time with it. So I'm all about it. I also love Octavia Spencer. I think she's great, and seeing her in a horror role like this is sick as fuck. So bring on Ma 2. The Ma-ning. Let's make this even campier and more ridiculous than the last one. So that was like a so bad it's good. I don't know. To me, that was like I could laugh at this and have a very good time with it with how stupid and ridiculous it is. And like the other thing about so bad it's good movies, I feel like the difference between a so bad it's good and just a straight up bad horror movie is people are actually trying in their performances and roles. Octavia Spencer is giving it her all with this cheesy, ridiculous script, and I fucking loved it. I'm like, this movie's so dumb, and I'm having a great time with it. I rewatched it recently because I kind of forgot about that movie. I think I saw it when it came out, and I hadn't really thought about it since. But when Madison and I were on break, we watched it, and I'm just like, this movie's so fucking funny. Like, how did I forget about this one? So I'm actually really excited that's getting a sequel. That's gonna be ridiculous. GND Aaron YouTube is saying, hello, Jake. I just got the Nintendo Switch 2 with Mario Kart World. Did you have to like sell a child to buy that? Dear God, it's so much money. I don't know. Yeah, big bucks. So big bucks Aaron over here. Jeez. But how are you doing today? I guess I'm doing a little better financially than you. I'm just fucking with you, man. No, that's awesome. Actually, I'm super jealous. I hear the Switch 2's got some really cool shit going on with it. So have so much fun with that, man. Oh my God. I'm doing fantastic today. I'm chilling out, vibing. Again, just talking horror. Why the hell not? I'm so just hyped up after Dangerous Animals. I'm not calling it my favorite horror film of the year. Got a little hyperbolic on the last short that I posted to this page saying that, but it's up there, man. I really enjoyed this movie. I'm a huge creature feature guy, and that was a ton of fun, this new one. So I could not recommend seeing that one in theaters enough. I will not spoil it for you, but I will encourage you to watch my new video on it because found out a lot of stuff about that one that I thought was really interesting. You might want to know. There was a shark attack on set. I mean, that's pretty cool, right? Come on. That's crazy. I have not watched Predator Killer of Killers yet. I know I'm lacking on that, but as soon as this stream is over, I'm putting it on because I'm really excited. I'm hearing nothing but good things. Stereo Crow 1954, and I need it in my life. I need another good Predator film. Let me rephrase. I need another good Dan Trachtenberg Predator film, and we have 2 coming out this year. Not 1, 2. This one, and then we got Predator Badlands later on this year. Oh man, in terms of franchise continuations, this is one of the things I'm the most excited about. Prey fucking rocked, in my opinion. I don't know. I was a very big fan of that. I like the Predator sequels, maybe not the 2018 movie, but I like most of them. You know, I think Predator 2 is fun. It's cool to have like an urban setting opposed to the jungle. I thought it was different. I also really like the ending of Predator 2, which is sick as fuck. Predators, same thing. There's things I like, things I don't. Prey was the first movie where I'm like, that was fucking awesome. Like, that stands up to the original. The original's still the best, come on now, but Prey's up there, man. I really enjoyed that movie. So I can't wait to see what Badlands is all about. Honestly, I think it looks even better than Prey. We're mixing Weyland Yutani shit in there too, so it's kind of an Alien versus Predator film. I can't wait to see it. But Predator, Killer of Killers, obviously also from Dan Trachtenberg. It's an animated film though, which makes it a little different. I was reluctant to cover it. I've been I'm never 100% sure what's gonna hit and what doesn't. I've had years of being like, this is definitely gonna hit, this is totally gonna be fine, and then it doesn't. So I'm always a little jumpy when it comes to covering certain topics. So I decided to go with the shark movie that I loved so much this afternoon. But I think what I'll say is I'm really excited to get into this one. This is one I kind of just wanted to watch at my own pace. I didn't want to just rush through it and make a review. I really think this is going to be something good. And I wanted to sit with this movie, Predator, Killer of Killers, for a bit. I knew it was going to be something a little more to chew on. So I can't wait. I can't wait to get into it. It's going to be a lot of fun. But no spoilers yet. Fort Misery Gaming saying first HHN announcement, Fallout is confirmed. Okay, that's exciting. I still haven't watched the show with Ella Purnell or her and Walton Goggins, right? I need to sit down with and check that one out. I've heard nothing but good things. I've been kind of like Amazon Prime shows. I keep starting them and they keep starting good, and then I keep like losing interest as they go along. So I don't know. I want to get into that one, but it's been like, I'm like, oh, Amazon Prime. Haven't had a lot of good luck with them in my opinion. But I don't know. They do have some good shows. Don't want to say they all suck. Don't want to categorize them into that, but I gotta watch that Fallout show, man. I love the video games. I'll tell you that much. Ella's saying you rewatched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 last night. What a beautiful movie. It is a disgusting movie, and that's why I love it. Ugh, it's gross. Fucking makes me want to. It's got the ick, and I think that's what I love about it so much. Daniel Pearl's cinematography makes that movie so disgusting. Oh, it's good. Riley Rage is saying, hey, Jakey Poo plus friends. What's up, Riley? How you doing? Film Fanatic, hi. Hi, hello. Gina's hanging out saying, hi, everyone. Hi, Gina. Hello, hello. Welcome in. DRMS Productions is saying, Jake, I have a question. What's the difference between a reboot and a remake? Reboots like we're just continuing the franchise. We're going to do something with it. Remakes like we're going to do the exact same story again, but in the modern day. And it's like, whoa, relax. Chill out. There's a difference. I mean, there's definitely a difference. I feel. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But yeah, remake to me says like you're going to do the same story again. Reboot could be anything. That could be just we're making another installment in this franchise. Lighting Ghost is, thank you for being a member, Lighting Ghost, saying in the video of Samara and Catherine rapping Ready or Not 2, Samara is wearing a bloody dress again. Don't tell me she got married again. Oh, Lighting Ghost, I'm so glad you brought that up because this is one of the things I'm the most excited about. So, Ready or Not, probably my favorite horror film of 2019, or at least one of. There was a lot of good ones. Very good year for horror. Man, Ready or Not sequel, I was so like, I don't know. I don't know if Ready or Not needs a sequel. I love the first one. It's a great standalone. Do we need more? Then I saw the cast list and I'm like, okay, y'all are cooking. Clearly, you got David Cronenberg, you got Catherine Newton, you got Sarah Michelle Gellar joining the cast, as well as familiar faces from the original like Samara Weaving. And we got to see a video of them wrapping it up because they just wrapped filming, and it's a video of Catherine Newton, who is covered in blood, by the way, and also Samara Weaving in another dress that's also soaked with blood. I don't know what this movie is going to entail, but I'm honestly so excited because of that. Like, it's kind of tough to speculate what this is going to be on. Like, you're right, Lighting Ghost. Did she get married again? There's no way she's making the same mistake again. I think, honestly, my thoughts is it's Catherine Newton's wedding. Somehow Samara gets involved with it or somehow figures out that the curse expands to multiple sides of maybe this family. There's another connection that we can make somehow that Samara is going to get involved. Maybe she sneaks into the wedding as a bridesmaid kind of thing, you know, and that's why she's wearing a dress again, has to fight another family or save someone from getting killed. I don't know. That's got to be what it is, right? We can't just have her making the same mistake again. That would kind of render the first movie as pointless, you know? It's like, you learned nothing? from from marrying into a culty rich family. It's like, I don't know about that. But yeah, very funny stuff nonetheless. What else is happening here? Marley Kai is saying, what is your favorite Bigfoot movie? I just watched this movie called Willow Creek that I really enjoyed. Found footage Bigfoot movie. You don't really see anything though. It's kind of like the Blair Witch approach to doing like a Sasquatch thing. It's mostly sound effects, but the sound effects are done really well. Gotta say that. Raptor Crashers is saying, I gave one video game, Civ 7, another chance after not being into it. It's pretty good actually. Going to play it more. Very nice. I played a little bit of Civ 5. I never got the hang of it. I just was not for me personally. But if you like it, that's all good. I'm glad you dig it. Lightning Ghost is also saying Dangerous Animals was a lot of fun. Couldn't agree more. Dangerous Animals over Sinners? No. Oh, no. Come on now. Sinners is, in terms of scope, I just feel like that's easily the best horror movie of the year. But in terms of like preference, I don't know. I mean, dude, Sinners is a really well done masterpiece of a film. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say anything's been better than that so far. Sinners feels leagues better than anything else we've gotten this year. I'm just going to be real. That's in a class of its own right now. That might change as we get more releases. We got 28 Years Later here in 2 weeks, which is exciting. Cannot wait for that one. That could easily be a number one. Megan 2, maybe not so much. Predator, Badlands, Black Phone 2. There's a lot of good movies still to come. Together, what's the other one that's coming? There's a ton of movies in August that I'm really excited for, and I just can't remember all of them. Weapons is another one that I feel like could be a sleeper hit. It's the sophomore feature from Zach Krager, who of course did Barbarian, which is now on Netflix, now on Tubi. It's all over the place. So if you still don't have a physical release, like literally nobody has, well, there you go. You can still find it somewhere. Still sucks, but God, maybe one day we'll make it happen. Anyways, Erica threw a super chat out there, and I've just been rambling away. But thank you so much for that, Erica. Thank you for the 5. Saying, hey, y'all, let's help Jake hit his super chat goal. Send in any amount super chat to help out. Also, go hit that like button. Hey, do all those things. That'd be pretty cool. Erica's got some points right there. Appreciate you a ton, Erica. If we get 10 super chats, which we already got one, we will go for another hour today, which would be really exciting. So make it happen, folks. Make it happen. Erica, thank you for the support. Appreciate you a ton. Thank you. DRMS is giving Predator Killer of Killers an 8 out of 10. Very solid. 8 out of 10. Okay, that's not bad. That's an 80%. That's a passing grade, baby. Film Fanatic is saying, have you heard about the upcoming horror movie about a killer hippo called Hungry? Is it potentially based off of the game Hungry Hippos, if you're familiar? I'm into that. That sounds hilarious. Hippos are a terrifying animal. I don't understand why people think they're cute and cuddly. They're not. You ever see videos of hippos just eating things? I mean, the teeth is what scares me the most about a hippo. I feel like I could survive like a shark bite, a tiger bite. That's one thing. Like, that sounds awful to begin with. That's already like the worst thing imaginable. The only thing I imagine would be worse is a hippo bite. Their teeth are like fucking this long, and they're like, it's so hard to explain unless you look at it, but they're like posts with like jagged edges on the top. They have more scary teeth than any animal on the planet. I don't know what it is. Something about a hippo's mouth that makes me go crazy. Not in a good way. God. Webs I Love 1122 is saying, what's up, brother? Just got off work. You've been working since 4 a.m. and you live in Florida. Both of those things are terrible. I'm so sorry for you. How are you doing today? By the way, happy Saw was saved. I'm great. It's been an insane, chaotic week on my end, but hey, we got through it, and that's what matters. I am also very happy that Saw has been saved. We got an update. Things are moving forward. It may not be the update we all wanted, but it's something, and I'll take it. I'm also, it's bittersweet to me. You know, I know all of us are going to be so worried about Blumhouse doing it, and they haven't exactly done right by all the IPs that they've taken in. But man, to say that Blumhouse has fucked up everything, I just don't know about that. I mean, Halloween 2018, I fucking love. I love that movie. I still watch it all the time. It's once a year in the fall. I put it on, and it's still a really good watch. I enjoy it quite a bit. I think that's the only Blumhouse IP movie that I can really be like, that was good. that they didn't come up with, I should say. But man, I don't know. It's James Wan has obviously a big stake in Blumhouse now that him and Blumhouse and Monster have merged. So I just can't imagine that whatever comes next is gonna suck. You know, whatever it ends up being, I have a feeling it's probably going to be something good. This is what James Wan did to become famous, right? He wouldn't just tarnish that. I mean, it's the same. We've been talking about Scream 7 for the longest time on here. It's the same situation. Kevin Williamson's claim to fame is that original Scream, without a doubt. You would not have any of the TV shows or other weird franchises that he's been a part of without that original Scream. You just would not. Like, no matter what you want to say about him, without Scream, there would be no Kevin Williamson. It's the same thing with James Wan. I think both of these guys are super talented, but without those big breaks, they wouldn't be where they are in their careers. I mean, we're talking about both of these guys as masters of horror now. And if without their big breaks, I just don't think I just don't think they'd even be in the conversation, which sucks. You know what I mean? Which really does suck that it does take something of that magnitude to get to that space, but it is the truth after all. So I just feel like if I'm James Wan, I'm looking at this like I just got my baby back. I'm going to make sure that it's nourished and taken care of, and it's going to be good. Everything's going to be fine. Listen, they're going to, I don't know, actually The Exorcist they might do well by with Mike Flanagan behind it, but Exorcist Believer was trash. I understand, like there's been a lot of just unwatchable franchise continuations that they've butchered with a capital B. They won't butcher Saw. I got my money on it, man. They won't. James Wan won't let that happen. So I think we're going to be okay. Mr. L is talking about having seen 28 Days Later. Man, I rewatched 28 Days Later a couple times this year. A very, very fun watch, let me tell you. I love that movie. I don't know if I love the ending, but I love most of that movie. Most of it is the best zombie movie I've ever seen. Or at least one of them. One more comment. We're getting to that super chat. Nod 23 Hill. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate you a ton. But our friend Milkbeard is hanging out with us saying, hope you're having a nice day. Also, I'm very much looking forward to Alpha. I just know that movie will be weird. Alpha. Why have I not heard of Alpha? Hang on now. Alpha movie. Beta males versus the alpha males. No, I'm just kidding. This is coming out on Christmas. What? How have I not heard of this? A body horror drama film written, directed. Wait. Yes, I have. I lied. I know exactly what this is. Julia DeCorno, right? Is that how you pronounce her name? It's her new movie. I'm a huge fan. She made this movie called Raw and another one that's even better called Titan, and both of them are fucking awesome. Probably some of the best body horror films we've gotten in the last 10 years or so. The women really are fucking taking over body horror, man. I'll tell you what. Some of the best body horror films in the last 10 years or so have all been made by women. I'm gonna say it, dude. I'm just gonna say it. The Substance, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah to The Substance. Still my favorite horror film from last year, without a doubt. Such a banger. Wow. And I can't stress enough, if you haven't seen Titan or Raw, I couldn't recommend those enough. Those two are also great. But dude, I am hyped for whatever the fuck this ends up being too. I agree this is going to be a weird one. Nod 23 Hill Jr. though also threw $5 out there saying it's Friday, take my money. Okay. I will. Happy Friday. Nah, dude, thank you for the support, though. Really does mean a lot, and helps the page. Keeps the lights on around here. And as you guys may or may not know, we are going to have a new set sometime soon, which is really exciting. So Jake is moving. Madison and I have gotten an apartment together. So on August 1st, we're going to be moving in and stuff. You're not going to see any new videos for a little while as we kind of are moving is a lot. So end of July, early August, there's going to be a little kind of break period. I'm probably just going to be shooting videos on my phone for a little while I don't have a set. So within the next couple of months, you're going to see more shit from over here kind of get taken down, stripped away, moved over to a new set. But I think that's exciting, personally. I think that's an exciting thing that we're moving towards collectively, right? Another new set. We had the set before this was just my couch. Fun fact. And then I did all this. Now we're going to have another set. So the next phase 3 of this cinematic universe we're moving into. Fort Misery Gaming saying, Jake, I know it's not horror, but are you interested in Ballerina from John Wick? They say the action is next level. I am so interested in that. I am a huge John Wick fan. I fucking love all 4 movies. I gotta see this one. This, like, as soon as possible. I'm very excited. Anything John Wick, I'm there day one. I don't care. They're like some of my favorite action movies out there. And normie take, I know, but dude, I love them. I've seen all 4 of them multiple times, and I don't get sick of them. I don't know. I love them to death. I'm also just like, Keanu Reeves is my favorite actor of all time, like without a doubt in my mind. Keanu Reeves is in it, I will watch it. That's just how I've always been. The Matrix is my favorite movie of all time. That supersedes genres, whatever. The Matrix forever will be my favorite film. So anything with Keanu in it, I'm there day one. Picky Piggy 180 is saying, have you talked about Final Destination in this video yet? God, we're getting to it. I promise. He's like, get to it. Talk about Final Destination. Okay, I will. I'm excited, dude. I'm hyped for whatever Final Destination 7 ends up being. I did a video not too long ago, maybe like last week, where I talked a bit about what I think might end up happening with the 7th installment. Sounds like Zach Lipovsky and Adam Stein are definitely going to be the ones who end up doing it. And they've already kind of been in an interview talking about how they want to cook up ideas. They kind of have said they put all of their ideas into this movie to make it just what it was. And that's totally fair. I mean, this movie rocked. It was fucking sick. And I'm glad that they did that. But now they just need some time to recoup and just kind of get shit figured out, I think the same thing just happened with Fede Alvarez after Alien Romulus was a big hit. He's like, give me some time to figure some shit out. And now we just heard that later on this year, they're going to film a sequel to it, which is coming out. And that to me says he got his shit figured out. He figured out what the story needs to be, and they moved on from it. And it's like, hell yeah. Okay. The same thing could happen with Final Destination 7. I mean, with the way that Fede was talking about it initially after Romulus came out, was that we weren't going to get a sequel for like years and years and years to come. But to me, you give a comment like that and it says, give us time to just figure out what the best step forward is, And I feel like that's kind of the phase we're in right now with Final Destination 7. I imagine we're going to get an announcement like, hey, 7's happening. Nothing else besides that. Like, hey, 7 is in the works. We're moving on it. And then it's going to be like months and months and months later, we're finally going to get some sort of update. Like, oh, they're filming and here's the people in it. Here's the directors, yada, yada. But I promise you it's coming. There's no way. They're leaving money on the table if they don't make another one. I mean, did someone say 235 million? Is that where it's at? It's like something like that. That's crazy. That's insane. Come on now. It's happening. Mr. L is hanging out with us too. What's up, Mr. L? Saying if Black Phone 2 isn't good, then I will be officially very, very worried for Saw. Dude, if Black Phone 2 isn't good, I'm going to lose my mind. That trailer was phenomenal. Phenomenal. What? That's the best Blumhouse trailer we've gotten in forever, dude. If that movie sucks, I'm going to lose faith in humanity, frankly, is where I'm at, Mr. L. That was way too good of a trailer for that movie to suck. But I agree. I'll be worried for Saw if they fuck that up somehow. I mean, it's like winter set, supernatural slasher. That sounds right up my alley. If I don't like that from them, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. That's crazy. Supernatural slashers that are like with a very serious tone about them. That is my fucking jam all day, baby. I feel like so many times when you slip into supernatural, it's so easy to go like the campy route, make it kind of silly, make it too close to like a Freddy situation. But I feel like if you want to make it modern and terrifying still, that is such a great blend, having those fantastical elements, but also being like genuinely fucking scary. That is, I don't know. That's such a great modern approach to horror that we see sometimes, not all the time, but probably best example is Mr. Crockett from last year. Like, yeah, does it have like a goofy look about it? Sure, but like the tone and the story is very serious and straightforward, which is, and just so many interesting choices that I love there. So not too campy to the point where I can't even take it seriously. Like it has a very emotional story at its core. But the tone, the supernatural feels of it, the puppet monsters, you're just like, this is ridiculous. But it's a great mix. It's a great juxtaposition. I love it. King Matthew III, what is going on, my friend? Saying, I think I may watch The Black Phone since a sequel is happening, because I haven't seen The Black Phone yet either. I just watched it again. This is a movie that every time I watch it, I like it even more than the last time. The first time I saw it, I was kind of critical of the way that they open up the film. It's, I don't know. There's a lot of things where I'm just like, I wasn't buying some of the things happening on screen, and I didn't love the way that it was edited. either. It's really hard to explain if you haven't seen it because I don't want to spoil it. But give it a watch. Check it out. I think the back half of that movie is fucking fantastic, though. Very well executed. And I think overall now where I'm sitting with that film is it's probably one of Scott Derrickson's best horror films, like without a doubt. Without a doubt in my mind. Samantha Robinson is saying, hi, Jake, currently working on the new Megan puzzle I got for my birthday. Samantha, thanks for being a member and happy birthday again. I know we've wished you happy birthday a couple times, but I just want to make sure that it's extra happy. That is very cool that you got a Megan puzzle, though. That is sick. Are you excited for Megan 2? Let us know down in the comments. We're curious. Inquiring minds would like to know. The Film Fanatic is saying, which film do you think will be the worst upcoming horror film of the year? Still to come? What's the worst? I just said we're excited for Megan 2, but I'm worried about that one, dude. I don't know. Me personally, we were just talking about how that juxtaposition between campy with a serious story is so important with campy horror films. You still got to have some substance at the end of the day. If you want to gloss over that with this sugar coating of campiness and fun, sure, that's totally fine. But if your story itself I can't even take seriously, I tend to lose interest personally. Megan 2, it just looks like it's, hey, every idea we had for a Megan sequel, we jam-packed it all into this one ridiculous movie, and it's just going to be nonsensical slop. So I'm concerned. I am definitely concerned about Megan 2. I hope it's not. I want it to be good because I enjoyed the first movie, maybe more than I should have. I was going into that one thinking this is going to be a film made for people who spend all day on TikTok and have never actually seen a film. And I came out of it like kind of shocked. I'm like, there's a very sharp commentary here on something that I feel very passionately about that I'm not going to get into here. But I just really enjoyed what that movie had to offer and say, on top of the comedy and horror elements to it too, which were fun. You know what I mean? But if that's all that was there, I don't think I would have liked it as much as I did. I gave it an 8 out of 10, and I still feel that way to this day. The commentary's sharp. The performances are great. Cast is excellent. So much I love about that original Megan, and I'm just not seeing a lot of those things still present in Megan 2. I'm hoping for a pleasant surprise, though, and I hope it's good. I really do. I'm rooting for it because this is a movie that I feel like was a surprise hit from Blumhouse, in my opinion, that I can't even believe was as good as it was. So I'm here for it. I'm very here for it to be good. I'm rooting for it, but I'm concerned. Ghostface is saying, so Jake, are there any updates on this merch based on a certain name? Yes, I'm moving on that. I promise. Yeah, you should see something by July. So if you're hanging out with us over on the gaming channel, you might know what I'm talking about. But we're going to release a merch item based on some things that have happened over on the gaming channel. I gotta say this again. If you're not subscribed to the gaming channel, those have been some of the most fun streams I've ever done. Definitely go check those out. They have been a fucking blast to do, and we are almost monetized over there too. So help us get to 1,000 subscribers. That would be dope as fuck. Erica's been putting the link in the chat here a bunch. If you're not subscribed already, go check it out. GullGotha rocks. It's a really fun channel, and we've had a blast bringing it to life. So really hope that we can do more sometime soon over there. Erica's throwing $2 out there saying, if you like fun, then send in a super chat. If you like fun, that's everybody. So, I mean, come on now. Erica's got a point, though. Thank you. Thank you for the 2. She also sent in another one saying, and make sure to hit the like button. Yes. All good things. All good things. Erica, thank you for the 5. I appreciate you a bunch. I appreciate your support of the page. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Paula Fitzhenry, who's a member, thank you for being a member, saying, question, who would you like to see on the soundtrack for I Know What You Did Last Summer? You know, I really liked the soundtrack for Scream 6 quite a bit. Say what you want about that movie, but the soundtrack I think fucking rocks. It had some really good like original songs and just some other stuff too that I really enjoyed. So I'm kind of hoping, this is another thing though. This is a tough thing. My Connor and I, my writing partner, we've talked a lot about nostalgia and how it's being utilized a lot in a lot of films. And we're kind of just sick of like the same old being utilized. It's always like, whenever it's nostalgia, like let's say 80s nostalgia, for instance, it's always like, here's this thing that happened in the 1980s. And the characters talk about it like like they're us from the future. You know what I mean? That to me is a problem. Probably the biggest example of this is like Stranger Things Chapter 3 or whatever. Let's say that as an example. They have the new Coke and they're like, oh yeah, new Coke's totally better than the old Coke or whatever. They have a back and forth argument about that. But like, I've talked with my dad about this. He's like, nobody liked new Coke. Everybody hated new Coke. It was a thing. It was like, why did they make it this way? And they switched it back immediately. So to me, if you want to do nostalgia, right, instead of having it be something so in your face, so like just, oh, hey, remember this, how about let's just have the tone and feel of a movie be exactly like something from the late 90s, for instance, with I Know What You Did Last Summer. I think if you want to capture nostalgia, you don't need to bring back characters. You don't need to resurrect dead characters. You don't need to do this, that, the other, remind people of that or whatnot. All you need to do is just create the same vibe of that original flick. Personally, I think what I would want for the soundtrack of something like I Know What You Did Last Summer is like 60s covers done by 90s bands, which is like, name a fucking 90s horror movie. Every single one of them has that. I want some shit like that. Actually, I Know What You Did Last Summer has Hey Bulldog by Toad and the Wet Sprockets. Is that the band? Like that, like songs like that, but bring them into this movie. Approach it like how they would back in the late 90s with the new film today. That, if you want to do nostalgia, that's the way to do it. That is what not every single horror film out there is doing. That would be refreshing. That would be a lot of fun. Connor and I are writing something that doesn't take place in the modern day, and that's kind of how we're approaching it in terms of doing nostalgia. There's nothing like in your face or, remember that, remember this. Just we're approaching it how films would have been done back in that time period that we're writing. So I'm really excited to unveil the weird project that we got going on behind the scenes. So more on that later. But Perry Moberg has thrown $5 out there. Perry, thank you for the support, saying, would you want a sequel to Sinners or should it be left alone? So we've had conflicting reports on this. I believe this is where this is coming from, Perry. We've had, I believe, a studio announcement that a sequel to Sinners was being like toyed with. You know, the idea was being tossed around. And I think director Ryan Coogler came out and said, no, like, no, we're not doing any more with Sinners. So I don't know if that's actually happening or not, but would I want one? Just the simple question, does Sinners need a sequel? I don't think so. I really don't. I think it's a great standalone and that's totally fine. To me, there's just like a big difference between something that should be a franchise and something that's just like, that's better left as a standalone, man. And to me, Sinners, it just has that standalone energy. It does everything that it needed to do in that one film. I don't feel like I'm looking for more from that. I got the scope of it. I got the message it was trying to throw out there, and it was sick as fuck. I love it. I think that's one of my favorite vampire movies ever. I'd put it in the top 10, which is probably crazy, but man, that is a fresh vampire movie. When's the last time we've been able to say that? I don't remember. I love Nosferatu. I wouldn't call it fresh though. I'm gonna be real. Maybe, arguably. So arguably, but man, I don't know. I love Nosferatu. It's a great version of that story, and easily one of my favorite horror films from last year. But, you know, when was the last time I saw like a fresh vampire movie that just genuinely did something different? It's Sinners all day. I mean, Sinners takes that cake. So I don't know, man. For me personally, I would just say leave it alone. It is a masterpiece as it stands. I don't think it needs more. The only time I really want a sequel to something is like Final Destination, when it has like a great flow and feel to it. And it's like, I could see that done in so many different ways. Just from the original Final Destination alone, I think you can be like, oh my God, you could apply that to so many different scenarios, right? With Sinners, it's just so much more specific. It's such a specific way to do vampires. I don't know if you could capture that magic again in a sequel. I'm sure if anyone could, it's Ryan Coogler. But I am so fine with that just being a standalone, and that's all it needs to be. It fucking rocks. How about Ryan Coogler just makes another awesome horror film with Michael B. Jordan? That's what I say. I say let's just let the guy cook. Let's let him cook and make another horror film. He's welcome in this arena anytime after that, dude. That was awesome. So that's what I think personally. But Perry, I really do appreciate the 5. Thank you. I'm working on a little video, by the way, kind of in the same vein as that super chat, a little bit of a jumping point here. But I'm working on a video right now talking about Bring Her Back and Talk to Me being in the same universe. I'm going to release it later on today. And I'm really hyped to get into that. I wouldn't mind Ryan Coogler doing something along the lines of he makes just another film in the Sinners universe, you know? Bring Her Back, there are hints. There's hints that it could be in the same universe as Talk to Me. And now there's a website out there that kind of pushes that a step further. So I'm really thinking whatever happens in Talk to Me, the sequel to Talk to Me, I imagine we're going to get more connections and the story is going to branch off of that in some way, shape, or form. So I wouldn't mind him doing something like that either. You know what I mean? He makes another movie and it's like, oh, this is in the same universe as Sinners, but it doesn't affect that story. You know, we're leaving that how it is and moving into something else. I could go on and on, man. A lot of really exciting things happening in horror. Sorry. Moth to the Flame, like the Weeknd song, is saying, my hope for Scream 7 is that we have a focus on solving the mystery. It feels characters haven't tried to solve the killings since the OG trilogy, and I felt that was one of the best aspects of them. So like just really trying to like figure out who I kind of felt a sense of that in all the films. Maybe just more of that, like just more of a focus on something along those lines. Okay, hey, rock on, dude. Rock on. I hope that we have a good mystery in Scream 7. That's like a number one big thing I really want from this flick. I feel cheapened by the Scream 6 reveal. You know, it was very obvious. And not I don't want to say it wasn't done well because there was things about it I liked, but it was very obvious. That was the biggest problem with it. I saw it coming from a mile away. And they had a lot of big twists there, but all of them were like very surface level. So that's my thing about Scream 7. I know that the reveal is probably going to be something wild. Again, based on I don't know who it is, but I've heard from sources of I've heard from two sources basically the same thing. And I'm like, okay, that's how they're going to approach the reveal this time around. It's going to be something different. And some people don't want to hear that. But I genuinely have a feeling that Scream 7 in a lot of ways is going to feel like Scream 6. And I think some people are not going to like that. I don't know if I'm even going to like it. And I like Scream 6. But there are things I'm hearing about 7 where I'm like, it just sounds like they're doing a reveal very similar to the 6th entry. That's all I'm going to say. And I don't know how I feel about that. We'll see. We'll see in February, right? That's kind of all we can say for now. I want to see some footage. I really want to see some footage so we can talk more about it because man, I'm with what's going on in my brain. I'm like, how the fuck is that going to work here? But we'll see. I'm excited. I'm really excited to find it, to learn more. RBR Short Films 13 is saying, what are your thoughts on Art the Clown's entire backstory being revealed in the first 15 minutes of Terrifier 4? Talked a bit about this in a video recently, just kind of grouping updates together. Whenever we get a bunch of little updates, I'd like to just put them all together in one neat little video, make it nice and cute, put a little bow on top of it. It's cute as fuck. I love it. But what do I think about this? I think it's dope. I think it's sick. We have had so many different Terrifier movies that have left us in the dark, maybe given us like another scratch of the surface. And to know that Terrifier 4 is just going to come out the gate, giving us like one of the biggest answers to one of our biggest questions. I'm cool with that. It's the final film. This is the place to do something like that. If they had the plan to continue the series beyond that, I'd be scratching my head a little bit, but no, I'm excited for Terrifier 4. I think that's going to be really, really sick. I feel like we do have an idea of what Art the Clown's backstory is, but we're going to finally like see it put to the screen now in this new movie. Listen, people fought, angrily fought me on this, but I'm like, Damien wouldn't have put that in the movie had it not meant something. We have the demolition workers in Terrifier 3 specifically say that, there was a killer that lived in this house back in the 90s and he buried a bunch of kids in the basement. You're trying to tell me that's not Art the Clown? You're trying to tell me that's a different serial killer that lives in the same town in Miles County? Come on now. That's his backstory. That's what it is. He was a serial killer. He was so evil, so fucked up that like how they were talking about in Terrifier 3, a demon was able to cross over into our world and basically take over his body or whatever. So I think that's where we're ultimately going with all of this. We're going to see a little more of his backstory. We also know that Art the Clown killed a kid a long time ago based on what was set up in Terrifier 2. That's his backstory, dog. Like it's pretty, I don't know. It's hard for me to argue that, it's like, that's where we're going with this, but It's the how, it's the, how are we going to approach that and execute it in a new film? How's it going to affect the events of Terrifier 4? That's the question now. Jake, did you hear the new David Arquette interview with Chris Jericho? Sounds like he might have lied about something. I don't know. Ooh, no, I have not. That's interesting. I'm working on a Scream 7 update for Monday too. So, I'm posting something on Monday. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but there's been some Scream stuff that we can talk about, which can't believe we haven't gotten into yet. I'll talk about it here in a sec, but we do have some super chats from Milkbeard. Thank you for the 5, Milkbeard. I guess you were just sipping on some milk. Don't know why I said it like that. You must have been sipping on some milk and now got it all up in your beard. Get someone to lick that out for you. Anyways, you're saying, I hope we can go 1 more hour. Hopefully. We're very close. We still got 15 minutes. So, I mean, anything could happen. So, you never know. You never know, man. But, dude, I really appreciate you helping us get to that goal. Means a ton. I hope everything's okay with your beard, my friend. Thank you for the 5. A. Crenich is saying, I like that Sid named her daughter Tatum. I feel like she was forgotten, really. Tatum was kind of forgotten. I feel like in the next movie, we didn't hear a word about her, pretty much. I feel like we didn't really talk about Tatum until the 5th movie again, right? Where we see Dewey is like upset about it again. Because you got to remember, that's Dewey's sister. It's Sydney's best friend. Like, you think there would be a little more, sadness over Tatum, but not really. No, it does seem like it seems like a great reference, right? It seems like a good reference to that. And I'm excited to learn more about this new character too. I hope she rocks. Oh my God, what's her name? Isabel May. Couldn't think of the actress's name. I hope she rocks. I really do. The young cast is going to be a vital part of what makes this movie a success, and I hope so. I hope they're good. I really hope they are. They stand up to the legacy characters, We like them just as much. Hopefully. Nod23 Hill Jr. throwing another 5 out there. Dude, thank you. Appreciate your support. Saying, for some reason, I watch bad B horror movies ASAP, but it takes years for me to watch Emmy-nominated horror. I understand that, though. I think some of the, like, ridiculous shit is, like, just an easier watch, I know that when I'm, like, going to bed, that I typically will work like all day, and then like at 9 o'clock at night I put something on real quick and pass out watching it. Pretty much I rarely have time to put on something like what you're talking about, right? Something that's a little slower, or maybe is worth kind of like a slow burn that's worth the wait, and when you get to the end it's fucking crazy. These are the movies that I find the most I get the most satisfaction out of them, but like they're tougher to watch, right? I can put on Final Destination whenever and have a very good time with it, but like The Lighthouse or The Witch, some Robert Eggers stuff, you got to be in a certain mindset for that, I feel. Not that there's nothing bad about these movies. I fucking love them. I mean, Robert Eggers, I think, has had a perfect track record so far, 4 for 4. It's hard for me to name too many directors that have just their first 4 movies were all fucking zingers, but it's tougher to watch. Everyone's busy right now. It's harder to get into stuff like that. So no, I totally understand. I understand that quite a bit. There's been there's a movie that I've been dying to watch, and I keep starting it and I keep falling asleep because I'm just like, I'm too tired. It's called The Ugly Stepsister. I've heard nothing but good things, and I keep missing it. I keep missing it. I keep not watching it, and I'm like so mad. I'm so mad because it starts really good. It's not that I don't like it. I'm exhausted by the time I get to it, man. The only time I really have like 2 hours to sit down and watch a movie is when I go to the theaters now, which sucks, but it's just that's life, that's life. That's what we got to do. But try, if there's any advice I can tell you is that it's so worth it. It's worth it to sit down and watch some of these weirder movies. You will have a very rewarding experience with many of them. Many of them are really worth the watch. Not all of them, but some of them. Some of them for sure. You get a lot of different things that some of the more mainstream stuff just won't tap into, So, but Nod23 Hill Jr., thank you for the 5. Appreciate you a ton. Some of these weirder movies totally worth the watch. And if you want, I don't understand. I'm honestly kind of shocked that Dangerous Animals is not more popular. Like, this is a very good B movie. And it is a B movie through and through. It is campy, it's bloody, but it's also got like this thriller element that's so cool to it. Man, I'm shocked that movie doesn't have more love behind it. I fucking loved that one. Jab, J-A-B, is saying Jake Anna Laurie. It is Anna Laurie from Final Destination Bloodlines. She plays Julia. gets her head crushed, is going to be in The Black Phone 2, and Tio Briones is also going to be in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Hell yeah. Rock on. Okay, so folks from Final Destination moving up in the world. I love to see it. I'm quite excited for both of these films. I was very critical of Five Nights at Freddy's, the 2023 film, but I have more faith in the sequel. I just want to see Blumhouse win because I used to love this company and I used to swear by them. When I was in high school, there were some people who were like, oh, Blumhouse movies suck. And I'm like, no, you suck. I love Blumhouse. When I was growing up, man, I loved the Insidious flicks. I loved Sinister. And I loved The Conjuring, too. I thought that was Blumhouse back then, but that's just James Wan. And that was a separate entity. That's Warner Bros. Back then. But I would always bring those up. I'm like, these movies are awesome, dude. I love these movies. But I don't care, man. I want to defend Blumhouse, but they keep doing dumb shit. and that's what bums me out. I want them to just get back to what in the 2010s was like. I mean, it was just the golden era for them. Made so many killer horror flicks. It just was almost never disappointed going to the theaters to see something with their banner in front of it. Now it's just a totally different story, which sucks, man. I'm old enough that I can finally say that I've watched one of my favorite companies fall from grace. But maybe they'll get their shit back together, and every now and then Blumhouse does have a really good movie. I mean, Drop from this year fucking rocked. That was Blumhouse. Megan, can't stress enough how much I love that movie. I actually really enjoyed that Speak No Evil remake, which I thought was going to suck balls. And I'm like, okay, that was solid. Different direction to take it. I like the original more for sure, but I enjoyed the approaching the ending differently. That's all I'm going to say. Lollipop Sanchez and Perry Moberg both helping us get to our goal. We are at 9 out of 10 with 4 minutes left. Nail biter, ladies and gentlemen. Lollipop is saying, did you know that 28 years later was shot with iPhones? Dude, yes, and there's like the most insane behind the scenes photo of this. I urge you all to look this up because it's fucking crazy. So you probably have seen the scenes with or the behind the scenes shots of the iPhone with all the crazy shit on it in the rig, and it's like, that's the camera? That's insane. What? There's a new photo that has just come out from 28 years later. And it's, I don't know like what this is, if it's bullet time or what the fuck it is, but it's this rig that's like, imagine a semicircle, like a giant semicircle, and they have all these iPhones on it. It looks like how they shot the scene in The Matrix with like the bullet time cameras, where it's like, it's 100 cameras in a circle basically, but it's like a semicircle of iPhones. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? What is this scene this is crazy. I don't know what we're in for with this movie, but clearly the cinematography is going to be amazing. And trust me, man, I hear, oh, they shot it with iPhone. What? Why wouldn't they shoot this with like Red cameras or, something nicer? I don't know, man. You can make shit look good on an iPhone these days. It's crazy. It's pretty crazy. So that's something I can't stress enough. Whenever people ask me, they're like, Jake, like, what should I have no money. I want to make a film. What should I do? Number one thing I tell people, use your phones. Shoot it with your phones. It's not going to look like shit, I promise. You just got to know how to shoot with a phone versus a camera. That is like one of the easiest places you can save money in terms of getting a budget together. So, dude, yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited for 28 years later. It looks like a lot of experimental shit's going on, and that always spells some really bizarre creative sequences, which is what I'm all about. So I can't wait to see it. Perry Moberg throwing 5 out there saying the knife scene in Bring Her Back was hard to watch. No spoilers, but dude, I was satisfied with Bring Her Back from this one scene alone. I was like, that's one of the worst things I've ever seen in a film. That is one of the hardest. There's like, that's up there with like a Terrifier kill, dude. That's how hard that was to watch. Wow. 10 out of 10 sequence. I'm not going to say any more than that, but the knife scene. Watch Bring Her Back. It's great. I was confused by the footage the main woman was watching here and there. I might be stupid. No, Perry, you're not stupid. They purposefully did not go all in on that element, which again, I'm walking on eggshells trying to talk about this and not spoil anything. But I'm doing a video now that's going like that kind of goes a little deeper into that whole side of things. There's an element to Bring Her Back that you might walk out of the theater and feel like, man, I kind of wanted more from that. Kind of wish there was more of a focus on that element in particular. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, they just wanted to utilize that as a way to get to this point, to get to this smaller story. It was never, this story that we're focusing on here was never about that other thing. And I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad that they approached it this way, because it might have felt too Ari Aster. You know what I mean, Perry? Maybe you know what I mean by that. Maybe you don't. But what I'll say is I think that was for the better, because it might have turned it into something that was just too much like something else had they gone this other route. But I tentatively want to say that's like the best art house picture we've seen this year so far. So I really enjoyed Bring Her Back. I'm really excited to see what else the Filippo brothers get into. Danny and Michael, those guys are fucking talented, man. I'll tell you what. Two banger movies from them. One winner after another. Picky Piggy. Oh man, I agree with this. Am I the only person that thinks Willy's Wonderland is better than the Five Nights at Freddy's movie? It is, bro. It 100% is. Nicolas Cage's silent performance makes that movie so much more fun. I don't know. I love Matthew Lillard, and he's amazing in Five Nights at Freddy's, easily the best part. But Nick Cage is giving like one of the most ridiculous performances I've ever seen in a movie that has just really worked for me. So man, I loved Willy's Wonderland to this day, still my favorite animatronic horror film. So no, Picky Piggy, I am right there with you, my friend. Nod 23 Hill is saying, hail to the king with $2, capping off our super chat goals for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. And thank you especially to Nod 23 Hill Jr. You rock. Thank you all so much for helping us reach our goal. That was awesome. We, like I said, nail biter, but we made it happen. Very cool stuff. We'll hang out for another hour, see what happens. But I really do appreciate you guys a ton. Thank you all for the support. Means a lot. Stupid Fizz is hanging out with us, saying, not gonna lie, I've been excited for the Black Phone 2, but I've been kind of disappointed by how the first trailer seems to spoil a big death. I've seen that photo. LOL. I'm trying to think. Spoil, which death was spoiled? I feel like we definitely know those kids are gone. those kids are done for. Okay. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I feel like that's a dream. I feel like that might be a dream sequence, what you're talking about. It took me a minute, but I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know. I don't think that's gonna happen. That would be really sad if that happened. I'm not gonna say any more than that, but no, I can say more than that. The movie's not out yet. This isn't a spoiler. I'm gonna say it. It appears that Finney might die in that during the scene where he answers another black phone, and he's spinning around covered in blood in the phone booth. I think that's a dream sequence. I'm going to be dead serious. I don't think that's actually a kill. That's my thoughts, at least. Dreams are going to be playing a bigger factor in this one than even the last time. So I feel like that could be possibly one of what's her name's dreams. Gwen was her name. Why am I thinking it's Gwenny? Was it Gwen? I can't remember. The little girl from the last movie. I just watched it. I just put this movie on, and I already forgot. Wow. Okay. Anyways, Rebecca Tayag. What's up, Reberky Turkey? How's it going? Jake, I have a pitch. What an opening disaster should be for a Final Destination. What if it's a blimp? Ooh, kind of like the Hindenburg, you know? Oh, the humanity. Okay, I'm into it. What if it suddenly crashed in the middle of a game stadium where thousands watch? Somebody stops it, like Iris. So it's this is an even bigger cataclysmic event, basically, that gets prevented somehow. That's insane. There's a lot of elements to that. You know, you'd have to have somebody like stop the blimp, essentially. Like, it couldn't be somebody that was at the stadium, but the stadium would also get affected, right? You know, what would be really interesting about a movie like that, Rebecca, is you would have a character, our premonition character, who prevents the deaths, but then goes after everybody from this event. That would be way harder to track everybody down. I mean, there's like a ton of people that could potentially be involved with that and have deaths still coming after them after it was prevented. That's interesting. I could get into something like that. Or you could just keep it simple, and it's a bunch of people at the football stadium, let's say, and premonition happens, kind of similar to Final Destination 4. We get the fuck out of there, blimp goes down, still blows everything up, but our characters make it out alive, just to keep it simple. You could do that too. That could simplify it. But I'm into something like that, maybe to get a redemption for the opening scene from Final Destination 4. Because I just don't feel like that scene's set up very well. I'm going to be honest. They just skip over the whole anxiety part of it where the main character's like, I don't know if we should go, guys. You need that. That's so important. You need to have a character that we can relate to, because I felt that's like a lot with the characters of Alex Browning from the original film, who was terrified to get on a plane. We can all relate to that. I think all of us, anyone who's been on a plane before has had like the worry, you know, in the back of their brain, like, what if, you know, like that would be horrible. And it's probably not going to happen, but what if it does? What if we're in that 0.01%, right? You have that a little bit in Final Destination 3 with Wendy, when she's snapping pictures of all of her friends, and then they force her to go on the ride, and she's kind of like, I don't know, you know, I don't know if we should get on this roller coaster. What if? You need the what if. You need the anxiety character to also be your premonition character, and Final Destination 4 just simply does not have that, which is why I feel like it fails in a lot of ways. You just don't create anxiety with a lot of your kills. Does it have cool kills? Yeah, honestly it does, but there's just really not a whole lot of anxiety around it. Whatever they end up doing, I just hope they have that. Final Destination 6 also has a touch of that. I wouldn't say like the most effective of all the films, but it's there. It's definitely there. We have Iris too afraid to get into the elevator. You know, she's like, I don't know if I like that. They talk about how they rushed the construction of the tower too, and they're picking up like nuts and bolts and shit. It's like, ooh, that's scary. So you gotta have that. It's crucial. It's crucial, man. The anxiety is I think one of the biggest reasons the Final Destination films are so successful. Perry, here's what I'm saying. Okay, good. I'm glad you do. I love your eyes, says Casper's eye socket. Do you happen to want to put my eyes in your eye socket, Casper? Because that kind of sounds like where you're going, and I'm scared. I'm very scared. Madison saying, I can't imagine talking about a movie after not taking my fiance the said movie that she wanted to see. We talked about it last weekend, and you wanted to stay in. In all fairness, just defending myself here. That's what you said. You wanted to chill. We'll go this weekend. I have not spoiled anything about Bring Her Back. I've just walked on eggshells all around it. Let's go see it though, because it's really good. It's a top 10 of the year for sure. Dave Sim is saying, hey Jake, what's your take on Rob Zombie movies? Let's read the rest of this, and I'll give you my spiel. My spiel. A lot of people I find aren't huge on them, more specifically the dialogue, but I love them. I loved his Halloweens, 1,000 Corpses, 31, all of them. Dude, I think that I love Rob Zombie first and foremost, but I understand why people don't like his Halloweens or like his covers. I think that's the best way to describe it. When Rob Zombie does something that's not his own creation, I feel like he messes with it so much to the point where it's not even what the original thing was all about. Like his Halloween, I think, is a great Rob Zombie movie, but is it a great Halloween movie? You know, that's the question. I would personally argue no. I actually really like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I enjoy it quite a bit. I think it's a great Rob Zombie movie. Is it a great Halloween movie? Not really. But I'll tell you what, dude, I think Devil's Rejects and House of 1,000 Corpses, honestly, and I'd even throw 31 in there too, that's his best work. If you want to watch Rob Zombie, you want to see why people really love his works, it's those three films. 31, maybe not so much. I love 31. Some people may not, and that's totally fine. But man, House of 1,000 Corpses and Devil's Rejects are like some of the best from the thousands. I'm just gonna say it. Those are it's basically his own Texas Chainsaw Massacre is what House of 1,000 Corpses is, and then Devil's Rejects is like just this even more depraved hangover of a film that I fucking love. Both of them are so good. The way that I've heard it described to me is that House of 1,000 Corpses is the acid trip, and then Devil's Rejects is the hangover from that. And I could not agree with that. Like, that is the best way to describe those two films. There's not a third film, by the way. What? Oh, they're Three from Hell? Never heard of her. It doesn't exist. Don't worry about it. It's a duology. Watch 31 instead. I promise that's a better watch. No, I like Rob Zombie movies. I get why people don't. The dialogue is a lot, but you're not supposed to like the characters in his movies. And I think that's why his Halloween things don't tend to work with everybody. Because I think you kind of have to like the main characters in a Halloween film for it to work. And that's why I feel like his first Halloween doesn't work for me, but the sequel does. The first Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween, the 2007 movie, it's basically just a remake. I mean, it's the same plot. It's the same thing going on, but it's with Rob Zombie characters, and it just doesn't work. The sequel is sick because it's kind of him taking the franchise in his own direction, just letting him do whatever he wants with it. That's the thing about Rob Zombie. You know, he's at his best when he's just allowed to do whatever the fuck he wants. That's going to be great. But when he's playing with territory that's already a franchise, already established, sometimes his style just doesn't apply to it or doesn't mesh well. It's very harsh. It's very abrasive, and doesn't work with everything. But I tell you what, I still do like a lot of his stuff. And I hope he does another horror film one day. I really do. And Picky Piggy's talking about the Banana Splits movie. I liked it. I thought it was fun. Is it great? I would not go so far as to say that, but I had a fun time with it. Blood and guts though. Lots of cool stuff there for sure. Lollipop Sanchez is throwing $2 out there again too, saying, I wonder what ideas Blumhouse has for Saw. So here's the thing. There's like smallest chance that James Wan decides to direct a continuation to Saw X. I'm just going to be real. I would love for that to happen. That's a best case scenario kind of thing in my opinion, but is that where it's going? Probably not. If I had to guess, they're probably going to reboot it. Realistically, I hate that. I don't know if that's even going to be good, but there is a part of me that whenever I watch Spiral from the Book of Saw, I see a lot of potential. I don't know, like for me, I love Tobin Bell. I think he is just fantastic, but he's older, and maybe all of this, maybe all of this crazy Saw news that we're getting just comes from the fact that maybe they've talked with Tobin Bell and he's like, I can't do another Saw X. I'm 82, 83 and I'm just ready to be done. I'm ready to rest. I mean, he's made like 9 Saw films. You know what I mean? He's been in 9 of them. That's insane. So I would understand if Tobin was just like, they had some conversations with him and he was just like, guys, I can't do another Saw X. Like that was intensive. That's the most screen time he ever had in a Saw film. That's a lot, dude. So I would understand if they're just like, we got to go for a reboot at this point. There's no other choice than that. Which maybe that's what all of this, maybe there are arguments between the producers. We've talked a bit about that in videos from some third-party sources who have been talking about how Mark Berg and Orrin Coles were kind of going back and forth on this Blumhouse deal like a little over a year ago. And that's kind of what inspired all of this. But I think ultimately a reboot might be the only direction for the series now, which sucks. I think that sucks to say, but I'm speculating here, but I think Tobin Bell might just be done, and that's totally cool. Maybe he just wants to end on a high note with Saw X. Again, totally get that. It's kind of the reasoning why Josh Stolberg and Peter Goldfinger aren't writing this new one. Like Josh even came out on Twitter and said something like, we ended on a good note. We did 3 Saw films. I want to move on to something else. I get that. Rock on, dude. I would honestly, if I had written 2 movies that were reviewed as poorly as Jigsaw and Spiral, say what you want about them. Yeah, they were reviewed poorly. And then made Saw X, which was like, oh my God, like this new darling in the franchise. I'd be like, okay, we did it. I'm out. I'm dipping. I'm not going to tarnish that. we got that movie out. It's a win. Bam, let's celebrate. Let's move on to something else. I completely understand where they're coming from. And maybe Tobin's just in the same mindset, which I get it. I understand. I'm totally fine with the reboot personally. I don't think will it live up to original Saw? Maybe not. But at its core, what is like one of the biggest things that brings us to Saw? Some crazy fucking traps. And did Spiral not have that? I would argue it did. I would argue that Spiral had some fucking awesome traps, some great gore that was very hard to watch. The opening scene, oh my God. I mean, that guy biting his tongue off before he gets annihilated by a train, that was sick. I don't know. I enjoyed Spiral. Is it one of the better Saw films? No, I'm not going to say that, but I did enjoy it quite a bit, and I would not mind seeing a new take on the series, especially if it's approved by James Wan, which, let's be real, did James and Lee, did they really have any sort of, a sort of creative influence over the last like couple of films? Probably not, so we've kind of gotten away from that, where we were with other people for a little while there, people who had been with the franchise for a long time. Yes, but not the original creators. So I'm excited to see what James Wan ultimately carves out for this series. I'm sure he's going to be overseeing it. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And I just hope it's good, whatever it is. I'm willing to be open-minded to something fresh. I also just love the cast of Spiral. Is it written very well? Not really. I could guess what was going on from a mile away. Again, another obvious twist. But I love Max Minghella. I love Chris Rock. I love Sam Jackson. 3 great actors all in this one crazy Saw movie. Hard for me to say I didn't have a good time with those people hanging out in the Saw universe. That was pretty cool. So I'm open for some new people hanging out in Saw. Let's see it. Let's see it happen. Blumhouse, we're rooting for you, man. Do right by this beloved series. Aaliyah Yasmin is hanging out with us. What's up, Aaliyah? Saying I'm not too excited for Scream 7 because of some of the spoilers. I can't believe Mark Consuelos is going to be on Scream 7, and I know he's the first one to get killed who came up with that idea. I don't know. I couldn't tell you about that. Maybe. He was only on set for a little while. Could totally see him being the opening kill, though. What I will say in terms of 7, yeah, I don't... I mean, they put out a lot of information about the film before it got leaked. And I get that. I understand the motivation there, but I'm still just like... It still could have been a surprise, you know? Maybe shit leaks every single day about Scream 7. Is all this stuff true? Probably not. Let's be real. Biggest thing that came out recently is we've heard that one of the locations from the original trilogy is going to be featured in Scream 7. Are we going back to Woodsboro? Are we going to be closer to Windsor High because this new movie takes place in Indiana? I don't know. Whatever it ends up being, that might not even end up being true. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just like, I have gone back and checked out some of the other videos I've done on Scream 5 and Scream 6. Like when it was like, oh, a new rumor has popped up, this and that, whatever. And it was total BS. I mean, it was like, that didn't happen in Scream 5 at all. I don't know who was coming. Like someone from Twitter was saying this or that or whatever. And I did a video on it. And I'm like, that never happens in the movie. So I don't know. I would have rather leaks just came out. That would have been I would have totally been fine with that. And then we could have decided if it was true or not. You know what I mean? Now we know for sure that Matthew Lillard, Scott Foley, David Arquette are back in this movie. That's 100%. That is officially sourced. The movie they decided to put these announcements out before it even came out. And that just spoils a lot of the surprises, you know? So it does suck. It's hard for me to be excited when they're already showing their hand well before the movie even comes out. So, but I don't know. There's still things about it that I love. I love this series a ton, and I want it to be successful. You know, I really do. I want Scream to rage on for many, many more years to come. I think there's a lot more that Scream can do just outside of the typical story. So who knows? Who knows what this franchise can do next? I'm just hoping that fans are still chilling with this series after 7 comes out. Jason Carpenter is saying, what's up, Jake? You're going to be binging all 11 Hellraiser movies? That's insane. I wish you luck. Not all of them are good. Most of them are not good. But Jason, I wish you luck in this endeavor. Kill it. Kill it out there. Enjoy those. There's like 4 good movies in that whole stack. But you know what? That's okay. 4 awesome movies and yikes, 7 other ones. Perry Moberg saying the director of Dangerous Animals made The Loved Ones, which needs to be seen. So I've only ever seen his first movie, which I believe is titled The Devil's Candy. Excellent film. Loved it. I saw this movie, also loved it. And I hear The Loved Ones is like the movie that's the most loved from his whole catalog. I have not seen it. It's a shame. I gotta check it out. I gotta see what's up. So I Loved Ones. It's on the watch list for sure. Let me tell you. Minty Mint Francis, what's going on, my friend? Saying, who is your big 3 of horror? Like in terms of like villains in horror? Man, who are my favorite like slasher villains? I mean, I feel like Freddy's got to be up there. Love Freddy. He's our supernatural king. He's a goofball too. Got a sense of humor. That's important. Michael Myers, because come on now. I mean, Michael's like the drone, the droning killer. I know some people are going to argue Jason. I like Michael more. Sorry. I love Friday the 13th, but Michael, he takes the cake. He's way more mysterious, and I like that about him. Who's my number 3? Fuck. Would it be controversial to say Art the Clown? I've yet to be disappointed by an Art the Clown appearance. He just cracks me up every time I see him. I'm never upset when I see Art the Clown on my screen, you know? He puts a big smile from ear to ear on my face. I love him. Terrifier 2, probably my favorite slasher film of all time. I'm going to be honest. I fucking love that movie so much. So it's Art the Clown. It's Art the Clown for me. Blindside is saying, hey, Jake, I'm at the gym too. Hell yes. Nice. I went to the gym this morning. You're at the gym now. Rock on. You're just catching up on the stream. Congrats on the new apartment. My wife and I just bought a new apartment. Oh, nice. Congrats. Congrats on the new apartment then. Mortgages suck. Am I right? Lols. Keep up the great work, man. Yeah, I've been, it's crazy. Getting all the stuff ready for the apartment has been a lot, but we're making it happen. We have a ton of appliances that I've been trying to, basically we've been just trying to buy stuff every month to make it like not a big thing. And I just have a stack of like kitchen stuff downstairs. Like there's a pile of shit that I'm like, I don't even know how this is all going to fit in there, but it is somehow. So it's been tough, but it's going to be fun. It's a fun adventure is what I'm looking at it as. So good luck on your new apartment though, my friend. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate you a ton. Steve Kalinj is saying, what's up, birthday twin? First time catching the main channel stream. What's up? Yo. We're hanging. This your first time on the main channel. That's exciting. Are you from the gaming channel? That's so cool. Oh my God. It's usually the other way around. So if that's the case, welcome in. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate you a ton. Thanks for being here. Lollipop Sanchez also threw another 2 in there. I thought I got to this one, but this is another one. I joined the Discord. Thank you, Erica and Jake. You're very welcome. You got to thank Erica the most for this though, because she created the Discord. That was all her, and she's the one throwing out the links. So we appreciate you, Erica, a ton. Thank you for being here. And Lollipop, thanks for joining too. It's a lot of fun in there. It's chaos all the time. We're constantly talking about horror movies and ripping on me too, which is fun. Those are the 2 topics of conversation. It's only one or the other. But Lollipop, thank you for the 2, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it a ton. Max Burfield is saying, hey bro, how you doing, man? Vibing out, drinking some coffee, talking a little horror. You know, the usual. What's up, Max? Welcome in. Thanks for being here. What else is going on? We have Kelly hanging with us saying 7 has to be better than 5 and 6. I just don't know how many more people want to take Sydney out. I know. Trust me. I feel it. I just like Scream is the most like malleable franchise in my opinion. Like Scream is the most like you could do this 100 times with different people and nobody would bat an eye. And here we are just like, we're making it about Sydney again. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I love Sydney's a great character. She was awesome in those first 3 movies, but I'm just kind of at the point where I just want different Ghostface stories. I want to see other people try to go after other people. I don't know. Scream to me is just like you just need a bunch of teens, a bunch of young adults. We need to be that needs to be the audience. That needs to be your main characters too because of that. And you just have to have Ghostface popping up and coming after people. Have some horror commentary in there too. I feel like it doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. And yet we continue to complicate this series. I don't know. Man, there's always something to talk about in the world of horror too, that horror fans who are going to these movies are going to pick up on. I don't get it. I don't get why we're so enamored to the past, constantly, bringing it back to the original. I think Scream could just be so much more simple, so much more just approach it with different concepts and different kinds of characters every single time. You could have something really fun every couple of years. The Evil Dead franchise is doing that right now, and to great success. to nothing but love, man. I mean, people love the last 2 movies a ton. Evil Dead 2013 and fucking Evil Dead Rise, both huge hits. And I really hope that we get. I'm so excited that we have 2 more on the horizon that are both going to be completely separate stories where the Necronomicon just happens to show up. That's all we need to do honestly, that's all I would want from a new Scream film is just there's a new Ghostface in a different part of the world. And these kids have to find a way to figure out who it is. It's someone in their group. They got to figure out who. It could be so simple, the problem is Scream has a bigger focus on nostalgia than a good mystery these days. And that's my problem. I think at its core, you have to execute a good murder mystery, and that just does not seem to be the focus of Scream at the moment. I mean, look at the way they're announcing things. They're saying this is the return of Sidney Prescott. This is a movie filled with nostalgic characters. Which, don't get me wrong, I love these characters. I mean, it's cool that they're coming back, but it's like, are we going to get a good murder mystery? Like, are we going to once again sacrifice the mystery for nostalgia? Which we did that in Screams 5 and 6, man. Those movies could have been way better had we just taken that little bit out and focused more on just building a good murder mystery, which is a tough thing to do unless you're completely solely set on making that your strength of your film. I don't know. It's a tough thing. It's a tough thing to talk about because I get that people want nostalgia. They love the original series. I do too. But I also want these new sequels to be executed well. I imagine the original Scream wouldn't have been as good if we were if we had like people showing up, a bunch of old characters being like, "Oh yes, Sidney, I fought Ghostface before." Wouldn't that suck? I think it would. I think it would suck if there was a bunch of old people in that movie who were just like, "Ah, yes, Sidney, let me help you with this." It's like, just let Sidney do her own thing. That's why that movie's so good. Sidney's doing her own thing. She's shining. Sam Carpenter had a bunch of, again, I'm not trying to degrade these characters, but like just a bunch of older people coming in and saying, "Hey, we'll help you out with this. We've done this before." It's like, yeah, we get it. You're reminding us of the past. The original Scream was great, but move on. Do something else. It's okay. It's okay. Like we'll be there. It's called Scream. Scream fans are going to show up. You know. I feel like they're trying too hard. A. Krenich is asking, where can one find these Scream leaks? I had a man on the inside. That's all I can say. An anonymous man on the inside with this new film. I've been planning. I've been planning things in the background, but I've spoken with some folks behind the scenes. I can't say. I can't say any more than that, unfortunately. I would get in trouble. Justin Proper, you've only seen Evil Dead 2? What? Oh, man, the Evil Dead franchise is maybe my favorite ever. There is, you could get anything you wanted in terms of horror from that franchise right there. Five movies, all completely different, and done just so well. So, man, I could not stress, Justin, I could not stress watching all those films. Every single one is worth a watch, and you don't have to see any of the other ones to understand the next one. Because that's the brilliance of Evil Dead, in my opinion. A lot of people will criticize this about the original trilogy. I think it works to its benefit. Each of the Ash Evil Dead movies changes tone and genre. I am like, dude, dead serious. The original is a straight up horror film. The sequel is a horror comedy. And the third film is just like a medieval comedy. It's not even horror. It's not. Army of Darkness is not a horror film. It is a comedy of errors, and it also has like a horror adjacent feel to it. But like, that's the best I'm going to give it. Army of Darkness is so much fun and so I think oftentimes people will be like, "Oh, Army of Darkness, that's the shitty one." No, it's not. It's so much fun. It's just not the same as the other couple of movies, and that's okay. Evil Dead's my favorite franchise because it's kind of the same concept every single time, but approached so differently each time. And that's what I love about it. There's a familiarity in terms of how it's set up, but it's the difference in tone that keeps me coming back for each new entry. So personally, with how the Evil Dead franchise is right now, I fucking love it. I love all 5 movies, and we got 2 more on the way, which, as somebody who holds this franchise up to such a gold standard, I am a little worried knowing that there's 2 more movies. I almost feel like, let's maybe leave it where it is, guys. Maybe let's not mess it up too badly. But we do have 2 great filmmakers approaching the next couple of entries. Sebastian Vanacek, who did Infested from last year, is doing this new one, and I'm really excited for that. I loved Infested. Made my skin crawl. I was upset watching this as someone who's terrified of spiders. So I'm excited for the 2 movies. We also have Francis Galuppi. I still haven't seen his movie from last year, which is crazy. But he made this film with Richard Brake. It's like Last Stop in Yuma County or something along those lines. I still haven't seen it. Totally missed that one. But I've been meaning to watch it because he's doing Evil Dead 7. So there's an Evil Dead 6 and an Evil Dead 7 on the way. But dude, yeah. Justin, I could not recommend watching all 5 of these movies. I think they're all great for what it's worth. Really fun stuff. Justin is asking, can Ghostface survive at least once in a Scream film? Well, there is rumor that Scream 7 will be a cliffhanger ending moving into a Scream 8 because they're filming Scream 8 at the top of next year. They are getting this thing done, like moving on this thing before 7 even drops. So that tells me that we might be doing a two-parter here, like a two-parter franchise, something meant to end the franchise, but there's gonna be more after that. I mean, come on, it's Scream. This is something that's just gonna go on forever, I feel. But I'm into that. I'm into a cliffhanger ending. I guess talking with some of my other folks who talk Scream, I guess that Kevin Williamson has always wanted to do a cliffhanger ending in a Scream film that led into another film, but just was never able to under Wes Craven. Now he's in charge. Will he do now? Will now be the time? I think absolutely yes. I think that would be cool. And what better way to set up a cliffhanger than having one ghost face revealed and the other one still out there? So, Justin, you might just get your wish, my friend. It could happen. Moth to a Flame is saying, slowly getting my mom to like horror. My dad still dislikes it, but my mom took me to my first ever horror movie in theaters. So awesome. Watched Bloodlines. Oh, no way. That's awesome. Did you both like it? That's my question. I hope you both liked it. Hope you had a good time with it. That sounds sick as fuck. I forced my parents to watch Saw X on Christmas a few years ago, and they surprisingly loved it. Not that they don't like horror films, but it's a hard watch, especially on Christmas. And they really enjoyed it. I remember my mom was like, "That was really cool." Like everything with Jigsaw and his whole, his whole deal. His whole ordeal is interesting, that he doesn't want to just outright kill people, but he does feel that people need a change. People, we need to correct people, right? So I that's probably the thing that draws me the most to Saw, is just that mentality. And I hope that whatever they do next, we're talking about Saw again, apologies, but whatever they do next with Saw, I really hope that it follows in the footsteps of John Kramer, even without him, And you guys both did like Bloodlines. That's really good to hear. That's awesome. It's no wonder that I like Final Destination so much. it's no wonder after how much I love Saw. Oh my God. Even at its lowest, I love Saw. I like, even Jigsaw is like a really fun watch for me. It's my least favorite from the whole franchise, but man, it's still a good time. That and Final Destination. I can even watch The Final Destination like 100 more times. I'm like, I vibe with this. This is a good time. This is a good flow and feel. You got something down with the formula here. I don't know. I'll tell you what. I just like the idea of characters knowing they're going to die and they have to find a way to escape it. That's a fun situation. Saw and Final Destination kind of have that down in a weird sort of way. Minty Mint Francis is saying Black Phone 2 is their most anticipated film of the year. Hell yeah. That's going to be a fun one. I really think it's going to be good. Trailer's solid as fuck. And it's Scott Derrickson, dude. Scott Derrickson doing horror. I will admit, some of his projects have been hit or miss. The Gorge from earlier this year, I was kind of on the fence about, but I feel like his focus was much more on the Black Phone sequel. Like I watched The Gorge and I'm like, this feels like a straight to streaming movie that they just so happened to get Scott Derrickson for. I was also reading about it, and it's not his script. It's a script that was like floating around the Blacklist for a very long time, which if you don't know what that is, the Blacklist is essentially this place that like anyone can upload a screenplay to, and then it can get like judged. And if you get like a really high approval rating, Hollywood might consider making it. And this was a script that had been floating around there for like years, I guess. And finally, I think Apple like bought the rights to it or something along those lines and got Scott Derrickson to direct. I might be butchering that story, but it was something along those lines. And I just thought it was like, oh, that's interesting. That's a cool idea. It's cool that that's where it came from. So it wasn't his script, it wasn't his story necessarily. But I liked what he did with it, even though overall I don't know if I loved everything about the way that story just came out. There's things about the ending that I felt like were a little rushed, a little too perfect for how, brutal that ended up being, but still some good stuff happening in The Gorge. Some really cool creature effects, some great character performances. I mean, you got Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy. You're going to get some good performances. Those two are consistently great. So, but yeah, so things I liked, things I didn't like, but I think Black Phone 2 ultimately is going to be a better film later on this year. Can't wait for it. October can't come soon enough. Project Drones is saying, I haven't watched all the Final Destination movies. You should. They're very good. They're very fun. Give them a watch. Steve Kalinj is saying, when are you streaming on GullGotha? We are definitely subscribed. I read the word subscribe and I said that. We are definitely streaming tomorrow night, 100%, 7 o'clock like we always do. But we might be going live tonight. I don't want to make any promises. We may not, depending on how Madison's feeling. We may or may not stream tonight. So it would be fun. But she very much so wants to binge some Handmaid's Tale with me this week. That's kind of been our show lately. And I had to work last weekend like a loser. And I told her, I said, listen, no matter what happens, I am not working this weekend. I'm not doing it. And trust me, there's an update video I want to get out like right now, but I'm not going to do it. Damn it. We're gonna stream though. We're gonna have some fun streaming, and that's okay. But we'll see. Maybe tonight, definitely tomorrow. That's what I can tell you. But like I've been talking about a lot lately, GullGotha is very close to monetization. Like we're almost there. So again, Erica's thrown out the link to it a couple of times here. Please go subscribe. Even if you're not into horror gaming, it would help Jake out a lot here. And with the watch hours, dude, we are we're inching. We're inching a couple more streams and we might be there. So really, if you could check that out, it would mean a great deal to me. So we'll be live tomorrow though, for sure. RBR Short Films is saying it better have a cliffhanger. That motherfucker better have a cliffhanger. Come on now. I hope so. It would be fun. Moth to a Flame is saying, bought the I Know What You Did Last Summer book at my local HPB. Half price books. That's what it is. For like $2. Gonna read it soon for a fun summer page turner. I kind of want to read it before the new movie comes out. Kind of want to do a book to movie comparison because I hear they're very different. So if I have time, I would love to go through that at some point. Would be fun. I wonder which one I'm going to like more. I've heard that the original story is quite different from the movie. So I'm like, I wonder how that applies. I wonder which version of that story is ultimately better. Justin Proper is saying, how come I'm just now finding out about a Scream 8? Have I been living under a rock? So Production Weekly has put out some updates on this. You're not living under a rock. I'm just, I'm insane with looking up Scream updates. I spend every single day of my life looking to see if there's something new happening in the world of Scream and all the other horror franchises I cover on here. So don't worry about it, Justin. I'm just fucking crazy. So no, you're not living under a rock. I doubt that the majority of people are going to know about Scream 8 until we get closer to Scream 7. That's going to be my guess. But we're all talking about it in the horror update world, I guess. If that's a thing. But yeah, Production Weekly has some filming dates for quarter 1 of 2026 for Scream 8. So like basically when Scream 7 is going to theaters, they're going to be already shooting the next one. This tells me it's probably going to be a pickup from where Scream 7 left off. There's probably already a script floating around. They already have something ready to go. That's why this cliffhanger theory I don't feel like is too far off with Scream 7. I really do feel like there's something to that. I want to get a video out on it sometime soon too. So your boy's just been busy. Had a lot of other videos to make. A lot of fun stuff to talk about. Raptor Crashers is saying, I convinced my dad to watch horror movies with me starting in early 2023. He still gets scared of movies, but he enjoys them. It takes a lot to scare me these days. It really does. There's really only been 2 scenes in horror this year that really fucked me up. That Bring Her Back scene, goddamn. And there's something in Dangerous Animals that I was like, that's fucking scary, dude. That was sick. So yeah, it's you watch a lot of them and eventually I think you just get desensitized. But if you're not watching horror films all the time, yeah, you're gonna get fucking spooked a ton. There's a lot of good stuff in a lot of these movies, man. I whenever I do get scared from a horror film nowadays, I love it. Like I don't know, some people are like, I never get scared from horror, and I'm like, yeah, you do. There's something that scares you. I don't know what to tell you. There's something out there is going to get to you. But man, I love it. I love when something's actually able to get to me. I cherish movies like that personally. Because it takes I'm watching horror almost every single day that I can. Anytime that I get a chance, I'm putting something on. And it takes a lot to get to me at this point. I've seen a lot of it. I've seen a lot of it done. And when something does hit, it's like, wow, that was impressive. Mr. Fawful What's up, my friend? How are you? Saying, hey, Jake, what if Keith David or Bruce Campbell was to play a new Bloodworth type character across several films? I'm so on the fence about that, Mr. Fawful. I don't hate the idea. I just would hate to essentially recast Tony Todd, you know? Like, it's almost, I don't want to disrespect the man, the myth, the legend. He's William Bloodworth, I feel at this point, is like just one of the most notable horror characters. You know what I mean? Especially after that last one. It's like, fuck yeah, dude. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to replace Bloodworth, but maybe just another character who also knows about death. I wouldn't mind something like that. You would just have to do it differently than Bloodworth. This is a point that I've made a lot on these streams recently, but like, don't have someone else come in there, like Keith David, especially. Like if you had Keith David come in there and be like, "Ooh, yeah, death is coming for you." Well, I don't know why he's talking like that, but but yeah, if you just have Keith David doing a Tony Todd impression, that to me, I don't know if I would be all about. Madison, I literally just talked about this, but if you want to stream tonight, I'm down. I'm all for it. So let me know in the chat if you want to stream tonight over on GullGotha, over on the gaming channel. Let me know. I'm here for it. I'm down for it. If not, that's also cool. But Mr. Fawful, what I will say though, dude, is I'm totally down for what's her name? I totally forgot. Kimberly Corman to come in and kind of be our person who guides us through death. Because that would be a different take on that style of character, right? It wouldn't be exactly Bloodworth. And it would be a different take because you would have to keep things in line with how Kimberly was in the previous movies. But I think that I think that you could definitely do something with that. It would be cool to see AJ Cook come back to this franchise in the next installment too. That'd be fun. Every series needs to have legacy characters. I mean, how else are they supposed to be successful, right? So come on now, you got to have legacy characters, or you're not going to make $1. That's a proven fact. You can't fight me on that. You know what I mean? I'm kidding. I'm kidding on that. But will they have legacy characters? Probably. They're probably going to try. They're going to try to make it happen for sure. But anyways, let's get back to this. Madison, the Handmaid's Tale creeps me out though for a different reason. That's that's funny. We've talked about that. Perry saying, I took my brother to Thanksgiving. He said he hated it, but he was literally on the edge of his seat. You know, it's funny. Connor and I always bring him up. Connor's a great dude. He's been on the channel a couple times before. But he's basically like him and I, it's been him and I against the world in terms of all the movie making endeavors from the last couple of years. So he's been there the whole way. He's great. We love him. He did not like that movie. He was not a fan, and I loved it. That was like a big movie we disagreed on, which I thought was funny. We typically agree on things, but that was one we were kind of button heads with. I loved it. It felt like an old school Eli Roth film, which is what I was just like all about. I was like, this is sick. But he just thought it was too campy. He was like, I feel like they could have taken that a little more seriously. And I'm like, I don't know. I had fun with the camp personally. So Reign of Horror is saying, hope everyone is doing well. Same to you, my bloody handed friend. Hope you're okay. Hope you're recovering from that wound. I kid, but what's up? What's up? Sully Streams is saying, Jake, I know what you did last summer is a slasher blind spot for me. Haven't seen any of them. Should I make them a priority? I would say at least the first one you should see. I don't know. Maybe this might be a hot take, but I feel like it's a little, I don't know if it deserves classic status. So many people are like, it's a slasher classic. It's one of the best slashers out there. I don't know. It has one great sequence. It has one of the greatest chase scenes in a horror movie. I will give it that. Everything with Helen Shivers, I'm not going to say any more than that, but because you haven't seen it, but everything going on with that character, Sarah Michelle Gellar, is chef's kiss. Holy shit. One of the best things I've seen in a Kevin Williamson movie. I will give it that. But I don't know. The rest of it, I just have problems with. It's fun. It's a fun watch. In terms of writing, I'm kind of on the fence about how I feel with most of it, but you definitely got to see this first one before you check out the new one coming out in July. And I'm really excited for the new one. I'll tell you what, it's hard. Again, it's just hard to talk about without you having seen it, but what I'll say is the original film it just feels like such a standalone. Like that should have been it. I don't think it ever needed a sequel in the first place. And here we are doing a legacy sequel to the original film. It's just like, you know, the setup though. If you've never seen I Know What You Did Last Summer, you at least know the setup. It's a bunch of drunk teenagers. They run over some guy. They throw him overboard. You know, they're like, okay, let's never tell anybody that we killed a guy. We take it to our graves. A year later, someone sends them all a bunch of notes saying, I know what you did last summer, and starts picking them off one by one. I think everyone knows that pretty much about the series. It's a good concept too. I'll give it that. Good concepts, great chase scene. There's some stuff about it that's whack, but what I'll say is that it's a standalone. It's such a standalone, and they made like 2 sequels, and now here comes another one. So I'm on the fence with how I feel about the sequels. I still know I think it's a guilty pleasure for me personally. It's just so campy and ridiculous that I vibe with it. And this new one I'm hoping can kind of capture that same energy. But there are things about the original I feel like could be done better, and I'm already seeing some of those elements in the trailer, which makes me excited. So, Sully, put it on, give it a watch. Let me know what you think about it. If you like Scream, I feel like it's such a must-watch, too. It's Kevin Williamson style through and through. So, like, there's that about it that is just so great. It's a fun watch. There's just things about the writing that I'm just not crazy about personally, but give it a watch. Let me know what you think. It's so Kevin Williamson. It's so Kevin Williamson, it hurts a little bit. RBR Short Films is saying that second sequel was beyond terrible. Yeah, the I Still Know is like campy fun. It is just turn your brain off, have a good time. The next one is don't even watch it. Like, oh my God, that was a disaster. Wow, what happened there? Again, just a sequel that breaks the DNA of the franchise. There is a point where you can go too far with doing your own thing, you know? You got to know the balance with each franchise. Mr. Rick is popping his head in, saying can't stay long, going to be going to the movies later. Might be able to catch the end of your gaming channel, almost 900. You're almost, are we almost there? Holy crap. Hang on. Last I checked, I was not, oh yeah, okay, we got a few more subscribers since I checked. That's sick, nice. We're at 857 over there, so we only need like less than 150. That's something. That's something. We're making it happen over there, so. Definitely give it a watch. I'm really excited to build that page up in the coming years. We got some fun plans for it. Oh man, Marcus is hanging out with us. What's up, buddy? Yo, I shot him 6 times, baby. He's saying I merged right onto Hampton and I wound up in this stream. Safe to say I made the right turn. What's up, man? How are you, dude? Have you seen Sinners yet, bro? If so, thoughts. I fucking loved Sinners. I walked out of the theater and I did this. I went skippity-doo. I jumped into the air and I pumped my fist right in the middle of a large crowd. I skippity-doo, just like that. And everybody was like, what is this guy so excited about? And I said, go into that theater and watch Sinners. I was foaming at the mouth too. I was feral. I was chasing a bunch of children around. It was terrifying. No, but no, I loved Sinners, dude. Wow. I was blown away. Dude, and I was saying this earlier, but like I have covered so many fucking vampire films on this page. And I'm always ready to say the same thing. I'm like, it was good, but it's basically just a lesser version of this other thing from the past. This movie, I was like, this fucking rocked. This was awesome. This was hitting on some totally different things that I don't feel like any other vampire flick had really ever covered. I like the idea of making vampirism like basically Jim Crow. I was like, that's a crazy metaphor right there. Okay, this is insane. This is nuts. I thought it was such it was such a very poignant metaphor, very perfect for the times. A lot of great fucking horror going on too. It was a thoughtful popcorn movie, as Jordan Peele would likely describe it. And I had a very, very, very good time with it. So Ryan Coogler is welcome in this arena anytime he wants. He can make a horror movie any day of the week. I might even help fund it with the very little money that I have, but it was awesome. I loved it. Sinners is in a league of its own this year, in my opinion. Definitely my favorite horror film of 2025 so far. But we definitely have some. We have more to come. You know, we definitely have more horror films on the way here that could top it. Just in 2 weeks, we have 28 Years Later, which, dude, I have been waiting for this movie since I was a child. Like basically since I was a kid, I've been waiting for this one. I was obsessed with zombies as a young man, and I remember watching 28 Days and 28 Weeks like back to back. I was like, I need to see the next one, Dad. Like, throw it on. This is when these movies were fresh too, when they were just coming out. And there's that cliffhanger at the end of weeks, right? And I'm like, what? I'm like, Dad, where's the next one? He's like, there's not another one. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I said that to my dad as a 10-year-old. What the fuck, Dad? I'm kidding. But I was so mad, dude. I was like, there's got to be another one. And then, years went by, still in the back of my head wondering what happened in Paris there. What what was going on with the zombie apocalypse in this universe? And then finally, just a couple of years ago, 28 years later, baby, we got it. We're moving. We got 3 movies on the way, and it's so exciting. So I am just I'm just over the moon. 2 weeks from now, childhood Jake is going to see something that he's been waiting to see for a very long time. Let me tell you. So that one I'm really looking forward to. That could be my next number one. Black Phone 2, a lot of potential there. That could be a big surprise hit. Weapons from Zach Krager, follow up to Barbarian. That one's up there. Tell you what, that one looks exciting. And I'm excited for this Together movie too, dude. I'm hearing that it might be a ripoff of something that already exists. And there's a legal case over it right now, which a major bummer. But, is this movie good? We'll see. We'll see what it's all about. But it's coming out. It's coming out soon. A couple of months on that one, too. So lots of exciting. August, dude. Like the next couple of months, honestly, June, July, August. Oh, my God. This summer is going to be the big highlight of horror for the year, I think. So I'm hyped, dude. A lot of good stuff coming up. This I Know What You Did Last Summer, too. I'm really excited for it. The more I think about this movie, the more excited I get, honestly. I do feel that it's a franchise that maybe shouldn't exist, but dude, I mean, if this movie finds ways to top the original, which I think it can, I think it's absolutely a possibility, I'm going to be over the fucking moon about it, dude. You won't hear me shutting up about it anytime soon. That's for sure. But Marcus, my good friend, thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us for this time. Means a lot. We got to have you on the page sometime soon. I miss your energy. You're so positive. I love it. Marcus is great, guys. He's awesome. Universal Disappointment is saying, hey, Jake, on my way to work. Hope you're doing well. Just saw Bring Her Back last night. Loved it. Hated it. Amazing movie. Don't watch it. I couldn't agree more. Yes. Oh, God, it was horrible. But it was so good. I wanted to stab my eyeballs out, and I also wanted to jump for joy at the same time. I totally understand that. Oh, Bring Her Back was upsetting as fuck, but it was so good. Guys, if you haven't seen this movie yet, I recommend it a ton. I think ultimately, if Talk to Me, Bring Her Back, Jake, which one do you like more? I think my heart is just with Talk to Me. I love those characters, love that story, love that concept. But Bring Her Back, ooh, really good stuff happening in this movie, though. It is, no one is calling this a sophomore slump for the Raka guys. You know what I mean? Like, this is still an amazing movie. I just think when you have a director that tackles the same concept or same themes twice, it almost, I don't want to say it's repetitive because it's not. It's such a different approach to grief than what they did in Talk to Me. But man, I enjoyed it a bunch though, man. I did enjoy it. I really liked it. Hits on the same themes as Talk to Me for sure, but it is a totally different story, which is what I really liked about it. So Sally Hawkins giving a great performance, really her first big dive into horror. I mean, I know she boned the fish man in Shape of Water, but that's horror adjacent, right? I don't know if that's even really a horror movie. It's adjacent, not straight up horror. So man, I don't know. I loved Bring Her Back. It was great. Justin, what is that movie? It's the new flick from the Raka guys, Danny and Michael Filippo. It's not a sequel to Talk to Me, but there's rumors that it's in the same universe. And there's kind of hints throughout the movie that it may be. Dude, I recommend seeing this one. Really recommend it. Talk to Me is it's kind of, you would almost mistake Talk to Me for like a Blumhouse film, right? Like a PG-13 Blumhouse concept. It's a bunch of kids playing around with something that they're getting possessed, they're having fun, and then things go wrong, right? But the way it's approached has like this art house feel about it. It's sophisticated. It has some great characters that are super relatable. I don't remember the actress's name who's the star of that film, but the chick that plays Mia, oh my God, how is she not in everything? How is she not in every movie that comes out right now? I don't understand. After that performance, fuck, that was great. But I loved Talk to Me. Really fun movie. And I just, this sequel, it's not a sequel. Bring Her Back. It feels like a spiritual sequel because it's also talking about grief a little bit, but it's a much more grounded and like very serious, straightforward story that's much more of like a tearjerker and just kind of hard to watch at points. People are calling it the feel bad movie of the summer, and I could not agree more with that. It is it's tragic. It's just a tragic hard watch, man, and it's great. I loved it. I think where, Talk to Me was tragic fun, this is tragic sorrow. The ending of this movie will like leave you just done. You're just like, I need to go to bed. I need to go to bed for a little while and not get up. I was kind of done for the day after I saw the first thing I did with one of my days, like a couple of weeks ago, was go see Bring Her Back. A24. Thank you guys for letting me have an early screening of this. I seriously can't thank you all enough. But I saw this movie and I got out of the theater and I was with the Splattercast guys, Dylan and Luke. Shout out to them. They're awesome. And they're like, let's film a video, Jake. Let's film a video talking about this. And I'm like, okay, all right, guys, I guess. I'm just bummed out. I'm so sad. But no, it was great. I Bring Her Back. Solid watch. Give it a watch. I'll stop rambling. Am I going to see 28 Years Later? RBR Short Films. You're damn fucking right I am. You better bet your bottom dollar that I'm going to be there Thursday night before it even fucking comes out, really. Dude, I want to see that movie right now. If there's any movie I'm like dying to sink my teeth into, it's that one. I told you, I've been waiting for this movie my whole life. Since I came out of the womb, my first words to my mother were, when is the film 28 Years Later going to come out? And she was like, I don't know what that is yet. The first one hasn't even come out yet, Jake. Little Jake. I said that and I bit into my umbilical cord and started sucking out the fluids. It was a mess. My birth was a terrifying thing. No, but anyways, moving past that. Stupid Fizz is saying I love horror movies that make me feel like shit. I agree. I do. I want horror movies to ruin me emotionally and physically. Teddy is saying, Jacob, good sir, I hope you're well. What's up, Teddy? Yo, guys, if you don't know this, Teddy is from he hangs out with us over on the gaming channel. He's constantly getting us into trouble in repo. It's a ton of fun. But Teddy, we appreciate you a ton for dropping by. Thanks for saying hi, talking a little horror with us, my friend. Welcome in, welcome in. You got to force Jess to watch some more horror with you, especially Hereditary. I think she would love that family-friendly film. That was brought up the other day on the channel. Very funny stuff. You definitely got to watch that. Justin Proper is saying, I was done for the day for Joker 2 and Smile. Smile made me frown, so now I'm on the fence for Bring Her Back. Smile's an upsetting film. I love it. Did you see Smile 2 yet, Justin? I'm curious. There's a lot of people who are like, I did not like Smile 2. And I don't know, man. I came out of Smile and I'm like, that was solid. That was a really solid horror flick. I enjoyed it. I came out of Smile 2 and I'm like, that might be the best horror film I've seen in a very long time. That was good. I was kind of blown away by that one. I just leaned into all the things. I love when a franchise decides with the next movie, hey, all the things that were great about the last one, we're going to amplify that. We're going to actually amplify the good things about that last movie and tell a new story. It's rare. It's rare that a franchise really hits on that, in my opinion. There's so many times where they introduce a new element that doesn't work. That's like the thing that they decide to do with the sequel. But when a franchise decides, hey, we're gonna do everything that was great about the last one, but make it 100 times crazier, that's when you have my attention. That's when you have me locked in, and I'm like, I might be the biggest fan of this ever. Holy fuck! Smile understands that. If they make a Smile 3, which I believe is in the works. I'm there day one, dude. I might be the biggest Smile fan on the planet right now after that last one. All hail the golden poop, says Teddy. What? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dog. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be signing off here. But before we do that, two big things. Well, three big things. One, check out my Dangerous Animals video that I posted today. It's a good one. It's a good video. I'm proud of it. No one's watching it. Give it a watch. It's a good one. I promise it's a good one. Second, we're going to be live next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time over on the Nightwatch Zones page with the Lethal Collective. Take 2 for the reunion. We're going live on everybody's fucking page. We're going to be on Night's page next week. We're going to be on Craven's page the week after and Fate's page on week 4. And after that, we will decide if the collective is back or not. So show up to these streams, guys. They're going to be fun. Lots of fun stuff happening with the Lethal Collective. Finally, last note. We'll be live again next week. bunch of stuff going on there. But we will be live on Saturday over on the gaming channel. So check that out because we're trying to get that page monetized. Words are hard. It's going to be a lot of fun over there though. So don't miss that stream on Saturday. We might be live tonight too. Who knows? Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you a ton. Thank you for helping us get to our super chat goal too. Really helps this page keep the lights on. Can't tell you how much that means to me. And again, I actually might be live on this page again on Monday earlier before the Lethal Collective. I don't know. But we'll be live again talking horror soon, I promise. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Again, sorry about the Midwestern goodbye. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. Peace out.